Pro wrestling talk from the four corners of parts unknown. This is That Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome to That Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Brian. Jason is here. Kevin is here. And Joe, I'm glad you're here because I think I saw like one text from you the entire week. You okay, buddy? Everything okay?
Yeah, it's May in school. That's all you got to say. It's just almost done, and yeah, I've been pretty much exhausted. Unlike Kevin,
we saw that tour bus you were rolling.
I know.
So tough.
Tough.
Going on field trips in like goddamn tour buses.
Y'all don't know about hard times. Hard times are where the textile workers can't pay the wages, can't pay the food. No, Joe, I was going to let you slide, though, because I do know that this is Teacher Appreciation Week.
Yes.
So that's awesome.
Oh, I have a story about that on TWP After Dark.
Wait, what's that?
I have a story about that on TWP After Dark about Teacher Appreciation Week, but I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I thought we could dub this week's podcast Joe Appreciation Week.
No.
Kevin and Jason are okay with that.
Yeah.
Nah.
No.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Joe's head is starting to swell a little bit. You gotta knock him down a few pegs.
If it means anything, Joe, I was all up for it. Just remember who your favorite is.
Okay. What do you get? What do you get? Like I tell my students, what do you get for that? I'm your favorite. I'm like, what do you get for that?
I'll tell you what I did get for you. Just like we had a special shout out for Kevin's 40th birthday with Bret Hart. Please welcome to Joe Appreciation Week, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michael. I'm just kidding. I got nothing for it.
Is it Matt Striker then?
This is. I thought it was Matt Striker. I thought you got a Striker cameo. I really thought that's what you were doing.
What? No, I was doing Vince McMahon classic, like the Heartbreak Kid.
I don't think Striker would cost that much. I mean, am I not worth the $15 that he probably charges? Thanks, appreciate it.
No. Striker is a good dude. He did me a solid a couple years ago.
I'm not saying that he's not.
At Starcast, I had bought a meet and greet for Tony Schiavone, and for whatever reason, Tony just no-showed. And like the last day of Starcast, I was at a panel and I saw Striker and I said, "Hey, I bought a Tony Schiavone meet and greet. Is there any chance you would mind looking to see if he's in the backstage area?" I got proof. I showed him, my receipt. I just, wanted to meet him. And Striker went above and beyond. Like he went in the back. He wasn't there. And then he goes, "Here, come with me." And we went we went to like the hub for Starcast with the information center. And they put me in touch with someone who then took me, then said, "Hey, wait right here." They went in, grabbed Tony, and Tony came out and talked to me for like 10 minutes. It was awesome. So Striker's all right with me because he really helped me out when he didn't have to. So Matt Striker, if you're watching this or listening to this, you are my favorite teacher.
Well, it's nice that
thank you. Appreciate that. Well, that's just more proof that teachers like go above and beyond to help other people. They always put other people first.
Yeah.
What have you done for me, Joe?
Quality.
What have I done for you? What do you need?
Wow. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that is definitely a TWP After Dark special, I think. We'll get that answer. Guys, but, we can start traditionally, though, right? What are you wearing?
What are you wearing? What are you wearing? What are you wearing today? What are you wearing? What are you wearing? What are you wearing today?
All right. I will start because we'll have some news on a member of this former group in just a little bit. I'm talking about Roderick Strong, and so I'm wearing the Undisputed Forever shirt. Could this thing be making a comeback? We will talk about that in a little bit.
Because it's UE. Oh, yeah.
It is.
And the red is so much better than the black and gold. So
I toss up, but the red was amazing, and I'm rocking it proudly. Right, Kev, you got something that is very
Is it a statement making?
Yes, that's what I was going for.
It is, and I will start off with this. You touched on it last week. Almond shirts are some of the comfiest ever, right? I will say this. I had to screenshot it because for some reason I cannot remember the dang brand of the shirt. Collar and elbow brand.
I remember them. Yeah.
Super, super, super comfy. Jason sent Laura a James Storm Save Water Drink Beer shirt, and inside of it was an extra surprise. One of these, and if you ever thought Heath Slater, correct? Jay,
what?
Used to wear this is my gimmick shirt.
Oh, I don't know. No, I think that was just something Collar and Elbow. That's Al Snow's company. Collar and Elbow. A lot of cool wrestling themed apparel. And I bought that shirt, but they sent me a large. I'm obviously not wearing a large anytime soon. So when I found the Save Water Drink Beer shirt, it was a small. And
okay. I'm
I was like,
Laura end up with this?
Laura drinks beer, and that's awesome. My wife doesn't drink beer. So I gave it to Kevin, and then I was like, oh, I found this other shirt that I'm certainly never going to fit into. And I passed it along in the mail. So, see, Joe, that's what doing something for your friends is all about.
Wow.
You wouldn't know that.
Man, Joe Appreciation Week's off to a rough start.
Yeah, it's ouch.
You're going to turn Joe into an alcoholic.
No, I'm okay.
Kevin, over under on how many times Laura wore that shirt. I'm setting it at 3. Over.
Her new shirt?
The drink water, save water, drink beer shirt. That
she wears it at night, every night before bed.
Are you serious?
I kid you not. I kid you not.
Well over, huh? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
I'll go over then.
Fuck you, Brian. You think you're a tough guy and a hot shit trying to make a joke?
Just making sure. Okay. All right there, Prime Time. What do you got for us?
So as of recording, I didn't know what to wear. You know, I don't have a lot to choose from. So I went and just grabbed something out of my closet. The Primetime Players, Darren Young, Titus O'Neil. And this is the one where WWE was putting that authentic wear tag. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
Like, I loved when they did that. That made the t-shirts like feel more important than just a dumb t-shirt. And they don't do it anymore because they have softer tees. This is a bit of a crunchy shirt. Can't really wear this too many places, but where it would be comfortable. But yeah, the Primetime Players. And I'm not doing the dance, so
please.
We'll save that for Jay Appreciation. Thank you, Joe. Well done. What do you got there, Mr. Teacher?
Well, I just did see Jason didn't do the dance, but I did it for him because I appreciate you too. And I always do things for my friends. So yes, there you go. I did something for you.
Mm-hmm.
Millions of dollars. I am going with the
more like $10.
The original Jericho Appreciation Society back in 2000. The original shirt, the Jerichoholic WWF shirt.
That's vintage?
This is vintage.
Beautiful.
Nice.
And it has the WWF.com on the back like this with the 12 steps of being a Jerichoholic, which I do not know them. And I'm not taking off my shirt to read them, but they are on there.
We will have
and it's
to
definitely crunchy and faded because I've had this shirt for 22 years.
I bet you could make a mint off of that one too. You can probably make some money off of that.
I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then I wouldn't have my shirt.
Well, I mean, obviously you're doing all right if you're riding to field trips and tour buses.
No. My school's doing all right. I'm still a teacher.
Yeah. Okay.
Kids don't know about hard times. All right. Let's start with
the worst part about the yellow buses. To open the windows, you had to like put your.
Oh yeah,
that was the worst.
It was.
You had to push them both in. Oh, it was terrible.
Mine today had a vent that I turned down, and the cool air just hit.
Was it a power window? Was it a power window?
Yeah.
No, it had the emergency windows on there. Like you just like pop them off, but like you didn't need the windows because it was air conditioned and you can turn down. Yeah. Anyway, I don't choose the transportation.
All right. Well, it works for you in any event. Let's start with the big news that came out Friday afternoon that we had 10 NXT releases. I'll go through the names. We had Dakota Kai, Malcolm Bivens, Dexter Loomis, Persian Parada, Harlan, Paige Prinziali, Santana George, Draco Anthony, Mila Milani, and Raylan Devine. Some of those names I'd never seen or heard before, hence the pronunciation difficulty. But there's some big names on there. It came out too in the moments after that a lot of these a lot of these cuts were based on them saying, "Hey, I don't think I'm resigning," or I turned down a contract. So you have that. I saw Bivens was one of them. Dakota Kai, I think, said she wasn't going to resign. So, guys, your reaction to these releases when this came down?
None of these people are needle movers, and with the exception of Dakota Kai and Malcolm Bivens, none of them are really surprising. Now, of course, those two said they were not going to resign. So, what's really interesting is that Bivens has a comedy show, and he already sold it out. The day after he got released, he launched a comedy show, and it sold out immediately. For me, I was bummed about Harlan. Parker Boudreaux was tabbed as like the next Brock Lesnar. Yeah. And then they shaved his head and put him in a Nails Jr. costume. I mean, but
Jay, last week we asked where he was. You remember that? We were talking about Gacy and the Druids. We're like, what happened to Harlan? Where is he? Well, I guess he was on his way out.
So I guess the way I'm looking at it is it sucks, but we all have jobs. And if we're not at the level that our employer wants us at, we can be let go. The only thing that I really do feel bad about, and this shows I do have a heart, who was the girl that was in with the Indy Hartwell story? Her partner, was that Persia?
Persia.
Mm-hmm. So Persia is not an American citizen and was here on a working green card. She just bought a brand new house like a month ago. Yeah. And then this happens. So I do feel bad about that. She's already got some bookings as far as autograph signings and appearances. There's one here in June that she's already on. So I do feel really bad about that. But overall, this is a better workplace environment for pro wrestling than ever. And I think they're going to be all right. And this is the beginning of the NXT is here to develop our people in our way. And, we'll see you down the road.
Kev, your reaction?
Hopefully we see some of them, majority of them. Who the hell knows? I think Dakota Kai, I think, is my biggest bummer that left. I know it's her decision, but I just think of the main roster, some of the women on there. I'm like, I think she's so tall and little, literally like so teeny. Yeah. But she can move and she's fast. Those kicks, total crazy looks like in the ring, how can I say it? Like she's losing her mind. Just so talented.
She has some good little character changes like that.
And then Dexter Loomis, I think, was kind of a bummer too. I don't know. I really enjoyed him. I thought the comedy factor of him not even saying anything, he was hilarious. And his in-ring was truly getting a lot better week after week. Just kind of a bummer. But the thing with NXT is it's like the revolving door. Some people will come in, you know what I mean? The names, it's hard when you start to get invested in some people and then more new names and just green. I think that's part of the reason why sometimes in the past I'd be like, boom, I have to watch NXT live. Now it's like, and work has been crazy lately, so I get to record it. But then it's like I find myself kind of watching it almost the weekend after to catch up. Versus it's not like a must watch show live, like how I like watching Raw or AEW within, a little bit around that Wednesday time. It's just, it's weird. Hopefully it rebounds. They still have so many talented people. And to be honest, who knows what's going to be next? That's only 10 people. They still have so many more people on the roster. Maybe
people in with this,
exactly, and more people
tryouts and things like that. But yeah,
and with the NILs, right?
NIL, yeah, they're doing that whole thing. But yeah, it's truly developmental. Joe, anything additional on that? Anything surprising or?
No, I'm bummed about Dakota Kai because, like Kevin said, the women's division is pretty thin, especially on the SmackDown side. I thought she could have helped out there.
Yes.
However, she wasn't going to resign, so who cares about that? I mean, she wasn't going to come back. She wasn't going to make it to SmackDown because she wasn't resigning. Why give her the TV time to build up her brand if she's just leaving anyway? Same with Bivens. And I agree with Kevin again. This twofer with the whole. I'm starting to watch less and less of NXT live because there's just so much wrestling on, and it is getting busier with work. And I got to make a decision: am I not going to watch NXT live, or am I not going to watch AEW live? And I choose AEW to watch live because it's a different brand company altogether. Yeah. So I'm still sticking with Raw, still sticking with SmackDown, and AEW is just making the cut for the simple fact that it's a different alternative, while NXT is purely developmental now.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jay.
There was a report that Dakota Kai was not seen as main roster talent. I find that interesting because Aaliyah has been on the main roster for like a year. Maybe had 3 matches on TV, and how she's main roster and Dakota Kai wasn't. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
We got Shotzi, who's been on the main roster for like 6 months and has had like 4 matches and lost her
tank away.
And lost her tank.
And her tag team partner.
And her last name.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of troubles when it comes to going to the main roster.
So when you think about these releases, would you rather have them stick around, try out for the main roster just to get released a month later, or completely change like Cross and Lee? Or do you want them to just go now and flourish in the community?
Well, I mean, this is just proof that NXT is developmental for WWE and AEW.
And that's why I think with
more guys. Sign more guys.
Well, that's why I think when you look at those names that are releases, I mean, there's 4 or 5 of them that I don't even know if I've ever seen, if they've even been on TV. But yeah, Persia was the one I was really surprised at because she kind of came in, had a nice high profile experience of being like, I'm Indy Hartwell's best friend, had this love affair, like middle of this story angle. And I've enjoyed her in ring work. She's got some power to her where I'd see her like have, like two women in a tag match, like on her shoulder to do like a Samoa drop. So I was really surprised about her because I really saw some potential, but the other ones, all their reasoning, whether it was, they're not going to come back anyway, or don't even know who you are. So that's fine. But Bivens, oh my God, that dude just cracks me up. I think he put it in his like goodbye video, if you will, was he's like, so I was about to go out to Zaxby's, get some chicken fingers. When the news broke, he's like, I just got one thing to say, like, Xia Li, I'll miss you, or something like that. Who does that? You look at that and you look at oh my God, what was his name who got released twice?
Drake Maverick.
Drake Maverick, who crying, it's my dream. This guy just comes out and is just like,
because I think he knew he's got a bright future ahead of him.
I think he does too. Yeah. One NXT wrestler that we now know wants out, but has not been granted his release, Roderick Strong, hence my shirt for this week. This wasn't a surprise to me. His wife, Marina Shafir, released last year. She's now in AEW. Of course, all the Undisputed guys are in AEW. So he's a natural fit for AEW, but apparently WWE saying, we're not letting you go. Would you guys be down for Roddy going to AEW, get the full-fledged Undisputed reunion? You're shaking your head, Jason. Explain.
Been there, done that. You got the shirt.
Got it. Yeah.
He was a Ring of Honor guy for years. Let him go back and be a guy in Ring of Honor, but that's not going to happen. We know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Tony Khan's going to get another wrestling figure. And look, the storyline's right itself. We've got the UE guys. Hopefully Omega comes back soon. 4-on-4, your blood and guts, your whatever kind of match they can come up with. It writes itself. I don't want it. Been there, done that. Brian has the shirt.
Anybody feel differently?
I almost wore the shirt tonight for that reason, and it's like I gotta agree with Jason. I don't like Roderick Strong was I'd say the weakest member of the Undisputed Era because, like you said, he was a Ring of Honor guy, and I never really saw like when they broke up. He just like went on and like no one really cared.
Well, he went away. He went away for a while.
And was anyone clamoring? Was anyone clamoring for? I wonder where Roderick Strong went. I think the best way to keep your job in the WWE is to request your release. Then they will keep you. But if you say you're not going to resign, then they will let you go. So you'll just be like, oh, I love it here, but I may not resign. We like to wish you best on your future endeavors. But if you request your release and announce it on Twitter, you are a lifer, my friend.
Yeah, that's a good point. Kev, any feelings either way for Roddy?
I almost feel like it needs to be like a kind of a negotiation. I think it needs to be. He's way above anything in NXT. He is. If he wants to move to the main roster or not, I don't necessarily 100% know. Throw him with Ciampa or Tommaso. Throw him as like a two little man wrecking crew because they're both so little. Just angry guys. I just think he's way above anything and beyond anything in NXT right now. Anyway, like he just doesn't look happy. I understand he's like a grumpy role and all that, but I don't know. Bobby Fish was always my lowest ranking in the group before Roddy joined or Roderick. Yeah. And then still after when he was part of it, Fish is still the weak link. And even in AEW, I just don't think Roderick doesn't need to go to AEW and join up with them. I don't know. It's just too many guys, too many.
I think Bobby Fish was the king of pro wrestling in 1922.
Yeah. And then George Hackenschmidt, barn burners all the time. I'm fine with it, honestly, guys, because for many of the reasons you guys said, it's kind of like his whole NXT experience is kind of done, it feels like. Yeah. I don't think he fits on the main roster. He's a great technician. He's a great professional wrestler. He's not good on promos. For a guy
he is not a sports entertainer.
No. Yeah, for a guy who's had all this in-ring history. Yeah, I remember just reading about him in Ring of Honor for years and years. Like, oh, who's this guy that's apparently so high profile? But he's not a compelling promo. There's something about his voice, his delivery. It's not good. So I just say, for purposes of like, let the guy be happy, and WWE, you're getting rid of people. Like, why are you keeping this guy? He doesn't clearly fit at all. So I wish they'd let him go. And yeah, the AEW reunion makes sense. It would give a pop, for when he comes out that one time, and then it'll probably just fade away like everybody else. But
into dark.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dark. Yeah, exactly. Yes. On YouTube. But yeah, like that's fine. I'm okay with any of that. But guys, we might be seeing this more and more. So there's a report that really just kind of starting out now that quarterly releases could become the norm. Talking about this, this was Meltzer, of course, and of my always rule of thumb is with Meltzer, you take everything with a grain of salt, but he's clearly been doing it for a long time. He thinks this kind of evaluation could be happening more and more. He says, quote, I think we're going to be seeing more of this when it comes to NXT. People, they're just going to make decisions that they're bringing a lot of new people in. If you don't make progress there, they're going to get rid of you in most cases. There's going to be 90-day cycles where they bring in new people and other people are gone. Guys, I mean, that's pretty cold. 90 days is not a lot of time, but how do you feel about if this is the intended strategy to essentially keep it moving?
I'll tell you this, Brian. You have self-admitted with Big Ed, you like to show 90-day fiance, right? 90 days. You get that K1 visa, right?
In a previous iteration
you have 90 days
podcast,
to get married. You got to figure it out. Is it going to work? Yes or no? And it works. Great. Perfect. maybe happily ever after 50% divorce rate. Who knows? But if it doesn't work, kick your butt back to your home country. Same thing with NXT. If it's working, great. Have another 90-day cycle, right? But if it doesn't work, thanks for coming. Go practice your craft another place. That's the first thing when I read and heard of the 90-day thing. That's the first thing that came to my mind is it works out. And guess what? Then we'll see. We won't get stuck with somebody who's dull on TV, and especially with all the NIL signings and everything like that. When they come in, it's going to be make or break. Those athletes, because they're going to be athletes. They're going to be good.
Yeah.
But are they going to have 90 days to be great on the mic? But you better improve it, or you might be going to work at Joe's Crab Shack or something.
That's right. That's a hell of a point, Kev. I did not think we have a 90-day fiance crossover on this episode, but it fits perfectly 100%. Jay, I think
I just have a question.
Yes, Jeff.
Can we have a 90-day clause, not just for the performers, but for creative too? Please, with NXT. It can't always be 100% on the performers. Okay.
Well, yeah.
Especially with these young guys, it's like there's some bad creative out there, and these people can stay there forever.
Well,
I think you should have 90 days to make a story stick too.
This is how you can tell who is going to make it and who's not. The cream of the crop, or whatever that saying is.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
I think that this is a good idea. However, there's got to be some contingencies with this. Like the Persia story.
Yeah.
She's bought a house. So maybe for those 90 days, WWE builds or purchases an apartment complex, like dorms, for this 90-day cycle. That way that the talent coming in, they're not getting stuck with mortgages or leases or whatever. It helps them out in a way where they're still getting paid to be working for WWE to see who can make it without the long-term problems that can damage credit and hurt them in the future. I am all in for this, cream rising to the top situation. It shows who's going to be there and who's not. Yeah. And if you know that going in, if you get let go, it's not a surprise. Either you're going to make it or you're not.
Well, Persia thought she was going to make it. I'll tell you that.
Jason wants the real world NXT, where superstars are forced to live in a house and stop being polite.
Well, they
and
have
start
their own
getting
places,
real,
dummy.
No, but you want WWE to build a complex for them to live in, like the real world or the male models in Zoolander.
No, like a dorm.
No, I want that. A dorm. I want that.
You want
I want that. I want cameras rolling, and I want that.
Hey,
you want that? I don't.
They had Legends House. Remember that?
I mean, it was tough. It was tough enough, but I think this could be better.
Yeah, with Nikita Lyons all the time.
Oh no, she's got a mortgage and a house. She's going nowhere.
She's going nowhere.
Whatever she wants from me.
Let's sign this to 10 90-day deals.
All right. Yeah. No. I. You know what? I think if that's the way, that's fine. Because that's the thing. WWE's they are clearly, at least it's been more well established that they are in the recruiting business. They are bringing in new people all the time. So as long as you know about that going into it, then yeah, I'm all for it. One AEW contract note: Stu Grayson of the Dark Order no longer with AEW. His contract came up. Apparently they did not come to terms, so he's officially a free agent. Guys, just real quick, did he do anything for you? I feel like I barely saw him wrestle, and just see a lot of Dark Order backstage things or run-ins and stuff like that. He was really nothing for me, but
he was Dark Order original. Him and Uno came in when they were the Super Smash Brothers on the Indies prior to AEW. I love the Dark Order. It sucks, but because of his time in AEW, he's going to be all right.
Yeah. Kev, Joe,
next.
any Stu Grayson top 5 moments? Yeah.
I
Wait, we're not doing a 5 count of
this.
We're gonna run out of time, man.
This is the most we've talked about Stu Grayson in 1 year of doing this show.
I like the Dark Order.
I had to Google him to see which one he looked like. To be honest, I just a lot of the guys in Dark Order. Outside of John Silver and
Cabana, maybe.
and a couple of them that
Uno.
Negative one.
Uno's got the mask. Matt, 10's got the mask.
Cabana, the chicks.
Yeah, but yeah, he did seem like
I
kind
said
of
it.
Not
We heard it.
That's how they're portraying themselves. So I can say it.
I retweeted it just because I'm guessing it was on a, being the elite that like he cut this promo on Hangman that was just like all I do is sit in catering. I hate it. I want to wrestle and whoever posted it was like that was a shoot. Holy cow! So who knows? We'll see if he pops up on our TV sometime. All right. So last week a topic on the show was that it appeared for the first time since August 2020. Almost 2 years ago, Roman Reigns was not scheduled to be on a PLE. Well, the next night on SmackDown, that all changed. And I guess I should have looked at the spoilers more closely because it was a big show. We wouldn't have done that topic, but nevertheless, we did. So the tag team unification match has now been made into a 6-man tag match, Bloodline versus RK Bro and Drew. So we no longer getting the tag unification unless something happens on Friday SmackDown, right? We're recording this Thursday night. None of the titles are on the line. But on the other hand, we do get Roman. And we also get Drew, and he appears to be the next challenger in line. What do you make of all this, guys? I mean, are you okay with this direction this took? I'll let you start, Joe.
It feels like a house show main event. It feels like a Teddy Long one-on-one with the Undertaker or a tag match. It was just thrown together. Will it be entertaining? Most likely. Any stakes? Nah. Still watch it? Yes.
Yep.
The thing with me, I would rather have had the tag team title unifications. That's big. That's important, right? You made a big deal about it. I'd almost rather have that match and no Roman on the show versus this 6-man tag. Because now I'm like, are they going to come back to it? The tag team unifications? Is it going to be at SummerSlam to make a bigger event? But it's like they teased it. Now it's like, yep, here you go. Nope, not any longer. And it's I'm sure the match will be just fine. And honestly, the lead up to it from Raw, that was the best part of Raw, in my opinion. When that double RKO,
that was
Riddle
great.
and Orton,
God,
fantastic. That whole segment got me a little bit more excited for the 6-man tag, but I'm kind of bummed on it. I still think it's going to be a better show overall than some of the lead ups. I truly think it's going to be a good show. But just the main event on paper, but it's probably gonna be better.
Jay, you've been a big proponent of unify. We're not getting it looks like.
No, and that's okay. Joe's right. This is a house show main event. However, who knows what it's going to lead to? SummerSlam, Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank's coming up.
What's after WrestleMania Backlash, Palooza? Is there a Saudi show? The UK show? I don't know.
That's in September.
I really feel like this could be the beginning of Drew winning the title from Roman at the UK show.
Oh, interesting.
In a triple threat with Tyson Fury.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Kidding. No, don't want that. Drew needs his moment. He won the title at WrestleMania in front of nobody.
Yeah.
He has done a killer job since he's came back. You know, I mean, me personally, not a huge fan. Don't have any of his shirts, but I don't know. I think that the match will be fine. I don't think it'll be the main event.
I would be. You think Seth Cody? Well, we'll get into the show. We'll get into the show later with predictions. I would be all about this if this was winner take all with the titles.
I would like winner take all. I think that could be fun.
I'd be all about that. And you know, it would probably be more telegraphed to be Usos Roman, right? But like, give me something, because you're right, guys. House show. And house shows are fun. And it'll be a fun match. But it's nothing that I'm like really invested in, right? And we'll see where it goes. And maybe something happens on SmackDown tonight. But yeah, so overall, I'm giving I like the unification. That was the thumbs up, and this was more like, eh. So we'll get into our predictions in just a little bit. Just what the world needs. Another wrestling promotion.
I'm out. I'm out. I'm out.
That's all for this week for Kev. Oh my God.
Speak softer.
Take the
My
lead
wife.
on this because you brought this to our attention, and if not, I can. I've got some good bullet points here on what this is all about. But it's your call.
So a couple months ago, I told the story about how Freddie Prinze Jr. told me I couldn't sit with him at a wrestling show.
That's right.
I've been listening to the Wrestling with Freddie podcast. I took a couple weeks off because he had Tony Khan on for 2 weeks, and I don't need that awkwardness in my life. But it came out this week that he is in the process of starting a new wrestling promotion. It's going to be an indie promotion. It's going to be based here in LA. And what's cool about it is he has a plan. He has a 3-year plan financially. And what he means by that is, no, it's not 3 years of storylines. He has financing for 3 years that if he doesn't make a penny, it's going to be good. Everyone's going to get paid. But this is going to be more of a full-scale production of, he wants it to be a SAG job, which is, union. The men and women are going to get equal pay, equal opportunity in the storylines. And, he's looking for ownership of the venue. He posted a video on YouTube or on Twitter the other day. He found a location that was a 40-story building in downtown LA with rooftop availability. Imagine that fucking skyline in the background. Unfortunately, the cost was way too much, so that didn't happen. But this is going to be an opportunity for a guy that gets it. He understands. He doesn't know how to book. So he even said in the podcast, I will have to hire people that know what they're doing. This guy worked for WWE for a long time in creative. People still go to him for help. He created the acting class. If you're not listening to Wrestling with Freddie, you should, because I think that it's a lot of great stories that we've never heard from inside the jet with Vince, with Bruce, with the talent. That's where the Sheamus and Wade Barrett act like dogs story came from. And this wrestling promotion is about 18 months away from being a reality. Yeah. When I first read it and then listened to the podcast, I thought maybe it'd be on the realm of Lucha Underground, scripted, all inclusive. But he says no, it's not going to be like Lucha Underground. And yes, it is another promotion, but this is going to be an LA based. It's going to be an indie to a point, but he has enough connections that I think when free agency rolls around or people get released, he's going to get a lot of big names. So I know Kevin's tapped out. Joe, any thoughts on this new wrestling promotion from Freddie Prinze Jr.?
I have more faith in this than I do with Create the Narrative or whatever that's called. Yeah. So only because he has a plan. I don't know what the heck those three guys are planning, but you know what? He's given himself 3 years to do something with it. If it works, good for him. Not a big fan of Freddie Prinze Jr. In fact, I hate all of his movies, but he has a good mind. He has a good mind for wrestling. So,
here's what's interesting. He told the story of when he talked to his agent manager that he wanted to start working again. So he got a Netflix movie. And when the manager and agent said, movie. Why do you want to start working again? He said, I want to start a wrestling promotion. And they were like, what are you doing? Like, what are you talking about? Go listen to this week's Wrestling with Freddie. It's a great insight into all of this. And Joe, like you said, he has a plan. It's going to be an 18-month process to get off the ground, and then 3 years after that. So, Brian, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, guys, like, I feel this is the stuff that interests me more than it probably should. the behind the scenes, the business aspect of it. Like Jay, I can remember when like AEW was being announced, like there's going to be a new promotion, AEW. And it's like, what's your interest? And like my like interest was not so much like, what wrestlers it'll be, but it was like, what day will it be on? What time will it be live? Will it be taped? Will they do house shows? Like all those like business logistics. So that part, when you talk about Freddie with being a SAG and, I have in my notes 2-hour show, he's got all these things like that stuff I will follow as hopefully it comes to fruition in 18 months. So, if that stuff somehow fits into the lexicon of being able to like watch, then like, okay, we're off to a good start. And then you can judge the wrestling ability and wrestling presentation on its own. But yeah, this stuff actually interests me of like how it gets off the ground and how the presentation will be. So for that part, it at least piques my interest, especially because of Freddie's background. I don't listen to that podcast too much, Jay, but the times I have, he's great. And I love hearing those stories and love hearing about his experience. So that right there is a little bit of a credibility that, at least gives my attention to, keep an eye on this thing down the road.
And Summer Catch is a great Freddie Prinze Jr. movie.
And Brett does like the
Scooby-Doos.
They're actually decently funny.
Know what you did last summer.
Well, I know what you did last summer is a rip-off Scream wannabe. Terrible.
Monkey Brewster on Peacock was awesome.
I said movies.
Let me ask you this, Jay.
on ABC was great.
Still a television show. Do you know the difference between the two?
Let me ask you this, Jay. I need a feel good story from Freddie Prinze Jr. I want to talk in 18 months from now. You're going to say on May 5th, I reminded everybody of the time Freddie wouldn't let me sit with him. I want you to get hired by Freddie Prinze Jr. And his company. So then you can sit with him. Done.
At the head of the table.
And he points to you via Triple H.
And Xavier Woods is for some reason going to be there too. Wasn't he the one in the row with him?
Yeah, he was there. You know what? It's cool. And I have friends that are in the industry here, and they've all reached out to him.
That's cool.
And, Jack Farmer, Adnan Karishi, I know, has went public. We're trying to get in touch with Freddie. And Freddie goes to indie shows. Wrestling Pro Wrestling is a comedy-based wrestling show. That's where he told me I couldn't sit with him. But not in a mean way. If you're just hearing this for the first time, I was looking for a seat. I found a seat. He had them saved. I didn't know. And he was totally nice. And when I looked up and I realized it was Freddie Prinze Jr., I laughed and thought, was he in Mean Girls? Because that would have been ideal. So Freddie Prinze Jr. is A-okay with me. Not that he cares.
And neither does Joe.
We'll keep an eye on that. Yep, that's all right. We'll keep an eye on all that. One thing that is coming out officially, I think later today, being Friday that you're listening, Cody Rhodes, Broken Skull, Stone Cold. Cody's done a ton of media since his WWE. He was on the Ringer podcast like immediately after the match. YouTube, you have the media scrum after Mania. He did After the Bell last week with Corey and Vic Joseph. So with all that, I don't know how much or how little you guys have heard those. So he's had a ton of interviews. What's the one question you want Austin to ask Cody? And I'll go first if you guys don't mind. My question Austin asked Cody is, did you solve racism with that A-Go-Go promo? Okay, that's not really the question. That's not really the question.
Well, have you seen some of the clips that have come out about this yet already? They do that the question and answer thing, rapid fire.
Ocarina of Time, by the way, is my favorite Zelda game of all time. So
they went back and forth on that. Yeah,
it was great. That was funny.
My real question is, who was it the most difficult to share the news to that you were leaving AEW? Who took it the hardest? And go from there.
Well, you know what? He's done Out of Character with Satin. He did Graves. He's done so many of these things. I want to say that question has been answered, but I think Stone Cold's going to go completely different directions. And if they're drinking, which will be awesome, you know, I don't know if Cody's a drink. Well, yeah, he is a drink because he has the Nightmare Bar in his new house.
Right.
I thought it was funny with the Zelda question. Our Lady Peace was hilarious.
Who? Why didn't Austin go, what?
What?
No, the best with the countdown, he's like 30 seconds. He looked at his clock. He's like, well, that was 53 seconds.
So I'm excited for this. I was big on Cody on the Indies after I saw him live for the first time on the Jericho Cruise. Just seeing him take over that crowd was awesome. And I was a fan the whole time. Towards the end of AEW, it got a little weird. I mean, we all can agree on that.
Yep.
And now that he's back, listening to his interviews and stuff, he just seems happy and he's having fun. Now, whether or not that's all part of the show or that's real, I don't know. I don't care. For me, I'm all in and I will watch. I don't know when it releases. I don't know if there's like a time or if it's at like midnight or whatever, but by the time we convene next week or reconvene, I think that's the right word, I will have watched it maybe twice.
Mm-hmm. Who else has a question they want Cody to answer?
I never did answer that, did I?
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Jason.
No, I'm good.
You had a lot.
I was going to say something completely inappropriate, and I won't.
My question I want Austin to ask, because he's just so straightforward with it, is this: why did you take yourself out of the title picture in AEW?
Okay,
it's a good one.
Yep. That's a good one because that pigeonholed him into doing what he had.
He would have been an 18-time TNT champion, one on TBS.
Yeah, I agree. Good job. Joe Appreciation Week. I love it.
That one was actually worth a laugh.
Kev, any question? Any question for Austin?
I would probably just touch base. One of the questions in the rapid fire was his dream match. He said AJ. They're going to touch base on the great matches with Seth. I want Austin to ask him, if you had a 3-year plan, who would you want to face? So he actually names people, because in our minds, we're like, let him go against him. Let him go against him. We want it all. I want Cody to specifically say name, different type of thing like that. This is who I want to do a program with after Seth. Will we see it? Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. But at least it's in our minds that maybe we will see it. So,
well, you got a question?
Yes, sir.
Undies or briefs? No.
It is. He is a very proud Star Trek fan, but he loves Star Wars as well. I want to know if he thinks Boba Fett's a bitch or not. I think Boba Fett's a bitch.
That sounds like a T-shirt to me. Boba Fett's a bitch. That's awesome.
Boba rated.
Looking forward to that. That should be fun. All right. By the way, quick condolences goes out to the marriage of Dana Brooke and Reggie. Oh, leave the memories alone. If you guys saw the video we posted on our YouTube and socials, thought those crazy kids were going to make it. But here we are 2 weeks later and it's over. Let's get
just like with NXT, they had 90 days to figure it out.
Yeah. Pretty much. Right from the very get-go. You're right, Kev. Let's get into Backlash. Wrestlemania Backlash is this Sunday. We're going to do a little preview prediction roundtable fun. How about AJ Styles and Edge? And that was fun. Little Finn Balor coming down to the ring. So maybe that's going to set up some tags and down the road. What do you guys see happening with this one? I'll go to you, Joe.
I'm predicting Edge wins and Balor turns on AJ and joins Judgment Day.
Ooh. No, okay.
Spit take, really?
Yeah, what? He just saved him. Okay.
Yeah, because that's never happened in wrestling before, where it's the fake save the Raw before.
That would be a fraud.
Joe, you're so negative.
No, I think I think that Finn Balor joining with Damian Priest and Edge is a better fit for him.
That would be pretty badass, honestly.
Like the evil demon would be awesome.
No, that's like 8 hours of paint every time. Nobody wants that. Fuck. But
he has to
I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good. I think it's a good idea. Let Balor join. I thought that was actually going to happen on Monday. I really did.
Too soon to add another member. I don't know. Finn doesn't do it. Finn doesn't do it for me anymore.
Well, his run is like heel NXT.
Yeah,
was really fun. So
with the Prince
that back into it again. Yeah, the Prince. You pull that back in, and then I think there's something there. But I don't see it happening like you do, Joe. But I could live with it.
Of course, the rumors are that Ciampa and Rhea Ripley are going to join as well. Saw something today I thought was interesting, and it would give her something to do. Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, that's a weird one. There's something's going on with that.
Well, she did just get married, so
she did get married, but then she came back for she had all those therapy sessions. She came back to Saudi, and then it was never seen from again. Then she got married,
which has lasted longer than Reggie and Dana Brooke.
I think you're right. Yes, I think her and Ryan Cabrera are doing okay. All right, so how about Lashley and Omos? I would have to think Omos gets it done just because Lashley won at Mania. There's probably some MVP shenanigans involved. What do you guys think on this one?
I think Omos can win, and maybe he just Lashley was fortunate for not getting hurt. Maybe they play into that. Omos just kind of goes after his body, and then maybe you have Jimmy Smith saying, "Oh yeah, he almost hurt himself when the ropes collapsed. Omos is taking advantage of it." I think it's gonna be a dud.
Okay,
big old dud.
Big dud. Give this one a dud. Who thinks it's also a dud? Dud. Jay.
Dud.
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 Also,
which is a shame. It's an absolute shame that this is what Lashley's doing.
It's not feeling it, huh?
I'm
not.
You're
the one who said MVP should turn and join Omos, and now we're getting it, but it's not hitting it for you, huh?
Hater.
This is very similar to when I wanted Matt Cardona and Nick Gage, and then I got it, and I'm like,
Yeah. All right.
Lashley deserves better. Omos is great, but I mean, he's no Veer.
Veer, there's something going on with Veer. There's something going on. And it's a shame that he's not cool guy Twitter Veer.
Oh,
but he's still, awesome. I still enjoy the squashes. I don't know if that'll lead to anything, but I'm okay.
This is the Ryback move.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And the Strowman move.
Yes.
And the Strowman move, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So there's something there. Another one that I could also categorize as dud. Corbin. Dud. That's a shirt. Dud. Corbin and Moss, and I think there's something there with Moss, and we've gone over Corbin time and time again, but I think we're ready for both of these guys to go to their separate corners to fight other people.
All right, so I think it's going to be Madcap Moss.
Yeah, I do too.
Obviously,
I do too.
What I really want, and this is a couple months away from happening. When did Happy Corbin become happy? When he was in Vegas last summer for SummerSlam. This year, Vegas, Money in the Bank, he loses it all again.
Oh, yes, that's full circle.
Then start it that way. Maybe not as extreme as last year, where his hair looked ridiculous and he lost all of his shit.
Yeah.
Maybe put him on a losing streak.
Okay.
But I think we all can agree this is Madcap Moss, and then we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah.
I like him in the ring too. Like the gimmick I'm not in love with, but I see the ability in him too, that there's something there, and it's just a matter of it'll actually come to full fruition. Charlotte and Ronda, I quit.
Dud.
What?
Dud.
There it is.
Fucking hater. You are a fucking hater, Joe.
There it is. Yeah. Did you expect anything less from Joe Appreciation Week on Flair and Rousey?
All right, Joe, I got a question for you then.
All right.
How would you book this match?
I wouldn't.
Not a fucking option, idiot. That's the best. How would if you want to make this work, make it work.
That was
Okay, I want to make it work. I want Charlotte to quit in like 5 minutes, but then go away for a year. Come back at Mania, because that's the only way you're gonna basically Charlotte has go away heat right now. She does.
With you?
No, not just with me. Have you watched SmackDown? They're booing her just to never mind. I'm not even. I've talked about her longer than I wanted to. So she quits in 5 minutes. Rousey dominates up till Survivor Series. Charlotte's gone. Comes back at Mania. No, kind of like the Cody Rhodes return. You don't expect it to happen. Move on.
All right, so that potentially could happen. If there was rumors that Charlotte was going to do a remake of Walking Tall, where she was going to be the star.
I remember that rumor. Yeah.
So if that's the case, great. I like the idea of Charlotte going away for a little while, but if Charlotte is going to win, that is going to be huge news that Ronda Rousey taps out. That would be a huge story. Ronda goes away for a while because honestly, she has not been good this run. You know who would have been a good mouthpiece for her? Malcolm Bivens. That would have been an interesting pairing.
Whoa, that'd be
lots of fun.
Yeah.
So look, I think what's going to happen, Charlotte will win, but it will be due to the help of one Drew Gulak.
Oh my, yeah, he's been getting involved in that whole thing.
Yes.
That's got me sold.
God, you're such a
Drew
dick.
Gulak. I hope there's a PowerPoint to go along with it.
You would, fucking nerd.
This is my one thing. This is my one
fire.
hope from this
No, he's
match.
not.
My
Boom
one
shakalaka.
my one hope from this match. I hope Ronda becomes prepared. I feel like she's looked lost in several matches. I feel like she doesn't look like she has the confidence, and it's very awkward. It's extremely,
the problem
extremely
is
awkward.
The problem is this: the music hits. This is Ronda Rousey. Gets to the steps.
Yeah, mean
Make
mug.
up your fucking mind. Make up your mind.
And if the crowd's not behind you, I think if people aren't cheering for her, I feel like it only gets worse. She's like the awkward kid in front of a class who can't give the presentation. And it's just so weird, and it rambles and rambles, just like I'm doing right now. I'm rambling, right? That's what she does in the ring, and it just looks terrible. This is make or break. If she does not look good, I'm donezo with Ronda. Charlotte's still top
badass,
so I can't.
Badass.
I don't agree with Joe on the oversaturation of Charlotte, but Charlotte deserves a lot of credit in every match, in everything with Ronda so far. Imagine anyone else on SmackDown withRonda. It would
I don't know. I fast forwarded I fast forwarded the WrestleMania match, and I don't regret it.
I'm torn.
Nobody asked you, Joe.
I'm torn between Ronda should win because then they'll be 1-1, and we'll see what happens, and hopefully it's a good match. I'm torn between that and wanting Charlotte to win just for more Joe torture. That goes along with that. My allegiances are torn on this one.
Joe, if Ronda loses, can your wife punch you?
No.
Air?
I want Joe. Realistic. Are you going to watch the pay-per-view or the premium live event?
Yes,
as it's happening.
Yeah.
Do us all a favor.
Use the restroom during that. Done.
No.
Make myself a sandwich during that. Done.
Oh my God.
Film your reaction.
Oh, I can do it right now.
God, you're such a hater.
Jay, just stop trying.
What? Huh?
Stop trying, Jay.
It's over?
It's over.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God.
I don't like her. You deal with it.
I'm starting not to like you right now.
Starting? Took you long enough.
The Twippy for feud of the year. It's either MJF and Punk or Joe and Charlotte. Let's go see how those votes come in. All right.
Well, she'll win because she always has to.
Well, you may be right, my friend.
But this would make sense. This would be a better story if Charlotte does win. She makes Ronda Rousey tap out. That's fucking huge.
I get it.
Her 2 losses in UFC, she got knocked the fuck out.
Yes, she did. Yeah.
Then what?
All right. We'll figure it out. We've had enough on this one. Cody and Seth, the rematch.
Not dud.
Not dud. Thank you. Yes, we all agreed on that one. I think Seth wins. I think there's cheating involved. I think it sets up something, like a Hell in a Cell or something, whatever, the ladder match or something, no holds barred. I think we're going 1-on-1 on this one. Because this feud's really good. Kev, go ahead.
I agree.
We need to 100%. Let Jay and Joe have a breather here.
I agree. I as much as I find myself rooting, and I love Seth. I just the dances and the suits. Cody comes out, and I'm like, I never find myself rooting against Seth, but I want Cody to win. But I don't want him to win because I kind of want this to keep going and keep going. I don't want it to be just a 2-month program or a month, I guess, program. I think Seth will win, and then he's going to come out and be even more obnoxious on Monday, and it'll be fantastic. And it's only going to make Cody more popular. That's the thing.
You might be right. Jay, Cody, and Seth.
It could go either way, and I know that's not really a hot take, but I'm going to say Cody wins and he moves on.
Okay.
I don't know who with, but yeah, I would love I've been talking about this Seth, Becky, Natural Born Killers run for a while. To see them both losing their shit because they can't get it together.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Something there.
But I'm going to say Cody wins and then move on.
Joe?
I think Cody wins, stays undefeated until SummerSlam, where he loses to Roman, wins the Rumble to get his title shot back, and wins at Mania.
We're going to be there for Cody versus Roman? Oh, hell yeah. Okay.
I think he'll be undefeated up till then, and that's where he loses.
Book that territory, Joe. I'm okay with that. I'd be all right to be in Nissan Stadium for that one. Bloodline, RK Bro, and Drew. We talked about how we're just not feeling it quite as much as the unification match. So I think because there's no titles on the line, I'm going with RK Bro and Drew. I think maybe Drew gets a win, not over Roman per se, but pins one of the Usos, and then we have some fun with that moving forward, where they can have some high profile one-on-one matches. There's some shenanigans going on in the text. That's crazy. Go ahead. Jesus. All right. Go ahead. You
all right there, Brian?
You guys got to get off the rails. All right, focus. Whose thoughts on this one? Main event. I'm going to start drinking beer and shut up.
This could have been the way that Roman lost the belts if this was a winner take all. And come tonight on SmackDown, they may announce that's the stipulation. One of the Usos could get pinned, or they win, or the Bloodline wins and begins the RK Bro separation. I don't know. We'll go with RK Bro and Drew. I feel like I'm at this point in this podcast, like Joe has kind of like sucked the fun out of everything. So
I love this. Are you kidding me? This is
what are you talking about?
Joe's been on fire. I love it.
He's just been upset that I've been speaking the truth.
And I appreciate you. I'm acknowledging.
Thank you.
This is your week.
You're acknowledging me?
Yes, I'm acknowledging that I appreciate you. Yes.
Oh, Jason's about to walk out.
No. Stick around. We're almost done. Kevin, any main event prediction?
Kind of touched base on it a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
I think RK Bro, Drew will win. It's going to be a crazy spot fest at the end. Just a lot of RKO, and then a spear, and then the Claymore, and then whatever Usos. Do they do the 3D now, or have they been
1D?
Yeah,
1D.
Okay,
one and done.
And they're going to do that, and then it's going to lead to, I think, just Roman being in the wrong place. He's going to take an RKO. He's going to take a Claymore. It's going to take more than just one finishing move to end him off. But yeah, I think Drew's going to get the pin on Roman.
Hey now,
no belts, no nothing, and
that.
And that matchup is inevitable for SummerSlam.
Yeah,
which would be pretty cool. I'll take it.
Or I like Jay's thinking of the England pay-per-view in September.
Yeah.
Well,
and maybe have the rematch. But.
Drew did just come out on. We're recording on Thursday, so it came out Thursday that Drew said he thinks there should be one champion per show. So is that foreshadowing? Maybe in the future, we'll see. But well, let me ask you this. Let me pose this question. Do you guys want to see Roman just continue to defend the unified title? Or does he just say, I'm going to defend this one title? Because you are
kind of like what Becky Lynch did.
Say what, Joe?
Kind of like what Becky Lynch did when she was Becky Two Belts.
Yeah. No, I'm fine with unified Roman. It's too fresh still. This is the first big show since May.
Mm-hmm.
Let's let it roll for a little bit.
Randy's the one to beat Roman.
That'd be cool.
To get number 15
and 16. Technically, he's holding two belts.
I think it's only one.
It's only one.
Yeah,
and then Roman gets it back. Roman gets it back at Survivor Series. Moxley returns at the Royal Rumble to set up the triple threat at WrestleMania.
Oh, so the
I thought he was winning Money in the Bank.
Sounds like that stock has dropped a little.
No, if he doesn't win Money in the Bank, then maybe he'll come back.
If he doesn't win it, yeah, he'll be.
Well, Nasdaq did take a hit today, so stock did go down a little bit.
Volatile market right now.
I think you guys have a great idea if it was a house show match, but I think you don't have to send the fans home happy for a premium live event. So I got the Bloodline winning.
Okay, all right.
Like Kevin, the way you booked it, I could see that ending a house show, like the RKO, and then the Claymore, and everyone leaves happy. But I think this one's going to get some shenanigans involved, and Roman wins.
Okay.
Well, maybe I'll see that house show ending in good old Fort Wayne 2 weeks from this Sunday when Brett and I go to the house show.
We'll get a full report from the Fort Wayne house show. Hopefully, do you know any of the matches? Or have you heard all the favorite stars will be appearing?
Yeah, they keep showing Becky and Seth. I don't know if it's all Raw or if they're touring together.
Cody will be there. He's doing the loop. He's doing every house show. He is.
That's pretty cool.
All in.
Well, I'm changing my question for Austin. Austin needs to ask Cody. Cody, will you make it to Pierre's on your trip to Fort? Right, Kev? Yeah, you gotta stop at Pierre.
With the band of your theme music?
Yeah, with Our Lady Peace. They're playing Pierre's.
I know you're out there. Somewhere out there.
Oh my God. Yes. Well said. All right. We got to wrap this up before we
yes, we do.
On with Our Lady Peace songs. Actually, one more thing. Would you guys like to play a game?
Make your choice.
Yeah, I know.
Is this War Games?
Here's the game. I found when I was looking around for Pittsburgh Marathon memorabilia, a pack of 1991 WWF playing cards.
Oh, that's awesome.
I thought that was a wristband.
What? Excuse me?
I thought it was a wristband. I would have paid $50 for that.
Here's the game I proposed. There are 14 cards. Each card is a different wrestler. I want to give you guys each 30 seconds, Family Feud style. Name as many wrestlers as you can. Every 4 that you get right is a stadium beer at SummerSlam. So 4, 8, 12, you each get 3. If there's only 4, then we're gonna have to figure out a way to find out who gets the 1, right? We'll cross that bridge down the road.
I'm confused.
I'm so confused.
We'll figure it out. We're smart guys.
The point is, if you can get 12 out of 14, you each get a beer. And then if there's less, we'll figure it out who gets the beer, right?
So we have to guess who's on the cards?
Correct. You have 30 seconds. This, if I didn't say the year, this is 1991. Okay, I did. 1991. I got my little stopwatch here.
Are we all doing it together?
No, one at a time. Family. No. So who would like to go first?
But
I will.
I feel like we should do it together.
And if you name it, I'm going to flip the card over, and we just keep going. And in 30 seconds, I'll say time.
So much for wrapping up this podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Going off the rails.
30 seconds on the clock.
Ready, Joe?
Yep.
Begin.
Hogan, Warrior, Savage, Axe, Smash, Bobby the Brain Heenan, Mean Gene Okerlund. I'm gonna go with I'm losing time right now. Oh crap.
15 seconds.
Tito Santana, Rick Martel, Jake the Snake Roberts, $1 Million Man, Andre the Giant, and Miss Elizabeth, Sherry Martel, Bret Hart,
4 seconds.
Neidhart.
Time.
Okay.
Joe, you got 5.
All right, I earned a beer.
Very nice. So Joe, you got Hogan.
Well, you shouldn't tell us
Yeah,
because
This game's over now.
the game's over. You just said 5. They had to decide which ones are right. So Macho Man and Hogan, so don't show anybody until the end.
Right. Okay, you're right.
So sorry,
Fair enough.
guys. I mean, we all knew we were going to say Macho and
That's
Hogan,
fine. No,
but
I was doing that to hopefully encourage you guys to keep guessing right answers. Okay, all right. We
I'll
have
go.
5.
sorry, Jason.
Who's going next?
I'll go.
All right, Jay.
Coco Beware, Yokozuna, Doink, Rick Rude, Macho Man, Vince McMahon, Lord Alfred Hayes, Mean Gene Okerlund, Shawn Michaels, Diesel, Razor, 1, 2, 3 Kid,
Seconds.
Brooklyn Brawler, Barry Horowitz, and D's Nuts 69 from Chicago.
5 seconds.
I don't care. I just don't care.
Time. 0.
Awesome. Can't wait. I'm not drinking anymore anyway right now. So Joe owes me 6 to begin with. So your non-one beer.
You got to bring it home, brother. Ready?
All right. Yep.
Begin.
Hogan, Macho Man, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, Bret Hart, The Undertaker, Mr. Perfect.
Are you reading?
No, The Rockers.
Okay. I thought you Googled.
Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, the British Bulldog, Vince McMahon, Harvey Whippleman, Bobby the Brain Heenan, Jesse the Body Ventura, Roddy Piper, Tito Santana.
Time. Hey, not bad.
You cheated.
Are you counting Hogan and Savage with him?
You
Because
shouldn't count.
No.
those shouldn't count.
That's why I didn't say them.
It was a collective effort. That's what I was trying to say. Like, oh, these ones are eliminated. Don't say those ones anymore, right? You guys ended up with 9 out of 14. 9 out of 14. The ones
Well, now you got to tell us all the 14.
Okay.
Sorry, Jason. Just tell us all the 14.
Hogan.
Okay.
I'm going with the ones you did first. Hogan,
After dark.
Macho. Liz. She's the queen. Get it?
I got that one.
Warrior.
The Joker.
No. I'm sorry. I'm messing this up.
Oh my God. No.
Well, you got Undertaker. Undertaker, I said.
Okay, yeah, Taker. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Mr. Perfect. Good job, Kev. That was
Damn
you.
it.
Where's that
Our
Harvey
man.
Whippleman? Oh,
I said DiBiase.
Yep. British Bulldog. I think that was you,
nice.
Kev. Yeah. Piper. That was you, Kev.
I wish I would have said that one.
So the 5 that you did not say. Big Boss Man.
Oh, nice.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
I'm guessing Slaughter.
No.
Iron Sheik.
This is a good one.
Volkov.
You're gonna go, oh damn it, but I can see why you'd forget it. Legion of Doom.
See, I went with Demolition.
Last 2, I think, were pretty tough.
If Doink's not the Joker, I'd be. Oh, you already said he wasn't, right?
The Dragon, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Oh, I forgot he was there in 91.
I know, and as the Dragon, right?
Yeah.
If you said Ricky, I would have given it to you. Last but not least, and I was 100% confident that there was no way you could get 14 out of 14 because of the inclusion of number 5 on your playing cards.
Gorilla Monsoon, Jack Tunney.
The Warlord.
I just said Powers of Pain.
There you go. All right.
Can we end this podcast, please?
2 beers. and we'll flip coins. We'll do rock, paper, scissors, whatever.
You have one more game to play. No, I'm just kidding.
That'll do it. At That WrestlePod's the social. Check us out. YouTube, social media. We're all there for you. We'll talk to you next week. Enjoy Backlash. Enjoy wrestling. Have a good week.
God, this is over.
Thanks for listening. Follow That WrestlePod on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
1,